A young man once carried a snake through the cold. The snake was freezing. Weak. Barely alive. And the young man felt pity. So he picked it up. Held it close. Kept it warm. Saved its life. But the moment the snake recovered, it bit him. Poison entered his blood. Shocked, the young man cried. "Why would you do this? I saved you." And the snake answered. "You knew what I was when you picked me up. Think about that. How many people in your life have bitten you? After you helped them? After you trusted them? After you gave them access to your peace?" That is the painful truth about toxic people. They often do not hurt you by accident. It is their nature. And Stoics understood something powerful. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves your peace. Not everyone deserves your presence. But here is the problem. Many good people keep suffering. Because they confuse patience with tolerance. Compassion with weakness. Loyalty with self-destruction. And slowly, toxic people drain them. Emotionally. Mentally. Spiritually. Until they no longer recognize themselves. Listen carefully. A toxic person does not always scream. Sometimes they manipulate quietly. Criticize subtly. Control emotionally. Use guilt like chains. And because the damage is slow, you don't notice it at first. But Stoics notice. Stoics observe. Stoics protect peace. And today, we are going to break down how Stoics deal with toxic people. Not with hatred. Not with revenge. But with wisdom. With boundaries. With emotional control. And stay until the end. Because the final lesson may save your peace for years. And if you are serious about mastering yourself and protecting your mind, subscribe to the Stoic path. Because here, we build inner strength, mental discipline, and the kind of peace the world cannot easily disturb. Let's begin. Lesson 1: Stoics identify toxicity early. Most people ignore red flags. Because emotion blinds observation. A toxic person often reveals themselves early. In how they speak. How they react to your success. How they treat your boundaries. How they behave when they don't get what they want. But many ignore these signs. Why? Hope. Attachment. Loneliness. A woman once met a friend who always criticized her. Small comments. Little insults disguised as jokes. At first, she laughed. Ignored it. Excused it. But over time, those words shaped insecurity. One day, her grandmother told her, "Poison does not stop being poison because it comes in small doses." That woke her up. And it should wake you up too. Stoics observe patterns. Not promises. People can promise kindness. But patterns reveal truth. Watch patterns. They do not lie. Lesson 2: Stoics do not take toxic behavior personally. This is powerful. A toxic person often projects their inner chaos onto others. Their insecurity. Their pain. Their bitterness. And if you absorb it, you suffer. Epictetus taught. It is not what happens to you that hurts you, but your judgment about it. A man once insulted a Stoic philosopher publicly. Called him weak. Useless. A fool. The crowd waited for anger. But the philosopher smiled. And kept walking. Later his student asked, "Master, why didn't you defend yourself?" He replied, "If a dog barks at the moon, does the moon respond?" Powerful. Because not every attack deserves your reaction. Toxic people often want emotional access. Reaction. Control. Power over your peace. Do not give it. Their chaos belongs to them. Not you. Lesson 3, Stoics set boundaries without guilt. This is where many fail. They think boundaries are rude. Selfish. Cold. No. Boundaries are protection. A house without walls is vulnerable. A life without boundaries is the same. A man had a friend who constantly borrowed money. Never returned it. And always came back with excuses. Every time, the man felt guilty saying no. Until his father told him. Compassion without boundaries becomes self-harm. That changed him. He said no. The friendship changed. Because boundaries reveal true intentions. Healthy people respect boundaries. Toxic people resist them. That resistance tells you everything. Remember. Saying no is not cruelty. It is clarity. And clarity protects peace. Lesson 4, Stoics limit access. Not everyone deserves full access to your life. Your plans. Your dreams. Your wounds. Your energy. A toxic person often uses your openness against you. A young warrior once trusted everyone. Shared everything. Dreams. Fears. Plans. And one day, those private truths were used against him. His teacher told him. Do not mistake openness for wisdom. That stayed with him. Now listen carefully. Because this is where Stoicism becomes real. Anyone can stay calm around good people. Anyone can be kind when treated well. Anyone can be patient when respected. But toxic people test your philosophy. They test your discipline. They test your peace. And often, they reveal how strong you truly are. Not because they are powerful, but because they know where your emotions are weak. That is why Stoics do not merely avoid toxic people. They understand them. And understanding protects you. Let's continue. Lesson 6, Stoics know when to walk away. This is one of the hardest lessons in life. Walking away. Especially from people you care about. Especially from history. Memories. Attachment. But hear this. History is not a reason to tolerate harm. Time invested is not a reason to stay trapped. A man had a friend of 15 years. They grew together. Built memories. Shared struggles. But over time, the friendship became poison. Jealousy. Manipulation. Disrespect. And still, he stayed. Why? Because of history. One day his grandfather said, just because you spent years building a house does not mean you should stay if it is burning. That changed everything. And it should change something in you. Walking away is not weakness. Sometimes it is wisdom. Marcus Aurelius taught. Remove yourself from what corrupts your mind. Simple. Clear. True. If someone repeatedly disturbs your peace, walking away may be the strongest thing you do. Lesson 7, Stoics use silence against manipulation. Manipulators thrive on emotional movement. Explanation. Defense. Argument. Reaction. That is their fuel. And many people keep feeding them. Without realizing it. There was once a woman constantly manipulated by her partner. Every disagreement became endless. Twisted. Exhausting. No matter what she said. He turned her words against her. Until one day. She changed her strategy. Silence. No over-explaining. No emotional chasing. Just calm. Just boundaries. And suddenly, his power weakened. Why? Because manipulators lose power when they lose access to your reaction. Silence is not surrender. It is strategy. A Stoic knows this. Not every accusation deserves defense. Not every lie deserves correction. Not every manipulation deserves engagement. Sometimes silence is the strongest answer. Because silence keeps dignity intact. And dignity matters. Lesson 8, Stoics understand that betrayal reveals character. Betrayal hurts deeply. Because betrayal comes from trust. And broken trust feels like violence. A man once trusted his closest friend with his business. His plans. His vision. But that friend betrayed him. Stole from him. And disappeared. The man was crushed. Bitter. Angry. Until his mentor said. His betrayal revealed his character. Your pain revealed your heart. Do not confuse the two. That changed him. And it changes everything. When someone betrays you, do not let their character poison yours. Yes, learn. Yes, protect yourself. But do not become what hurt you. That is Stoic strength. Pain without corruption. Wisdom without bitterness. A snake bites because it is a snake. But you choose your nature. Choose wisely. Lesson 9, Stoics forgive, but do not always reconnect. This is misunderstood. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is releasing poison from yourself. Not reopening doors to danger. A woman forgave her abusive father. Not because what he did was small. But because carrying hatred was destroying her. She forgave him. But she never returned to that environment. And that was wisdom. Forgiveness frees you. Reconnection is a separate decision. And sometimes, the wisest thing is distance. A Stoic forgives for peace. Not for access. Remember that. You can wish someone well. From far away. Distance can be love too. Love for yourself. Love for peace. Love for sanity. Lesson 10, Stoics protect peace without becoming bitter. This is the highest lesson. Because many people escape toxic people. But carry the poison inside. Bitterness. Suspicion. Coldness. And now. The toxic person still controls them. Just from a distance. A king once survived betrayal. His advisors expected revenge. Hatred. Violence. But instead, he focused on rebuilding his kingdom. When asked why he did not obsess over betrayal, he said, "Why let one snake poison the whole garden?" Powerful. Do not let one toxic experience make you distrust everyone. Do not let pain harden your heart. Guard it. But do not harden it. There is a difference. A guarded heart is wise. A hardened heart is wounded. Stay wise. Stay open. But selective. That is Stoic balance. Now understand this deeply. Toxic people are teachers. Painful teachers. But teachers. They teach boundaries. Discernment. Strength. Self-respect. And if you learn, their damage becomes wisdom. That is transformation. A Stoic asks, what can this teach me? Not, why is this happening to me? That question changes everything. Because life will always bring difficult people. You cannot control that. But you can control access. Reaction. Distance. Response. That is where your freedom lives. A toxic person may disturb your environment. But only you can let them disturb your inner world. Protect that inner world. It is your temple. Your peace. Your mind. Your energy. And not everyone deserves entry. There is a final story. An emperor once kept a traitor in his court. Not because he trusted him, but because he studied him. One day, when the traitor acted against him, the emperor was ready. Someone asked, "How did you know?" He replied, "Because I observed before I trusted." That is Stoic wisdom. Observe. Study. Discern. Trust slowly. Protect deeply. And remember. Not everyone who smiles at you is safe. Not everyone who praises you supports you. Not everyone close to you is for you. Watch actions. Watch patterns. Watch energy. Truth always leaves evidence. So from today, identify toxicity early. Do not take chaos personally. Set boundaries. Limit access. Control emotions. Walk away when needed. Use silence wisely. Learn from betrayal. Forgive without foolishness. Protect peace without bitterness. That is how Stoics deal with toxic people. Not with revenge. Not with hate. But with wisdom. And wisdom outlasts everything. If this message gave you clarity, subscribe to the Stoic path. Because here, we build the kind of mind that stays calm in chaos, strong in conflict, and peaceful in a noisy world. Remember, protecting your peace is not selfish. It is survival. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away in silence. There is one thing about toxic people that many never understand. They are not always obvious. Not every toxic person insults you. Not every toxic person attacks you openly. Some smile. Some help. Some stay close. And still, they poison your peace. Slowly. Quietly. Like rust on iron. And that is what makes them dangerous. Because slow poison is harder to detect. A Stoic understands this. Not every enemy comes with a sword. Some come with charm. A young man once had a friend who always celebrated with him. Smiled with him. Laughed with him. But every time the young man succeeded, the friend changed. Cold. Distant. Critical. Small hidden attacks. At first, he ignored it. But his father told him, "Some people clap for you with their hands, but envy you in their heart." That truth changed him. And it should change you too. Because Stoics study energy. Not just words. And energy never lies. Lesson 11, Stoics never argue with the committed fool. This is wisdom. Not everyone can be reasoned with. Not everyone wants truth. Some only want victory. Some only want drama. Some only want control. And arguing with them? Exhaustion. There was once a philosopher debating a foolish man in the marketplace. The fool shouted louder. Insulted more. Twisted every truth. Finally, the philosopher stopped speaking and walked away. His student asked, "Master, why did you stop?" He replied, "When a man loves ignorance, truth sounds like insult. Powerful. And necessary. Stop wasting energy on people committed to misunderstanding you. Not every battle deserves your mind. Not every argument deserves your peace. Sometimes walking away is the strongest answer. Silence protects wisdom." Lesson 12, Stoics protect their inner circle. Who surrounds you matters. Energy spreads. Habits spread. Mindset spread. A weak circle weakens you. A toxic circle drains you. A wise circle sharpens you. A warrior once trained with careless men. Lazy men. Undisciplined men. And slowly, He became like them. His master pulled him aside and said, "You cannot walk through mud daily and expect clean feet. That is life. Your circle matters. Pay attention to who influences you. Who drains you. Who manipulates you. Who constantly brings chaos. Because your peace is shaped by your company." Stoics choose carefully. Very carefully. Lesson 13, Stoics accept that you cannot save everyone. This lesson hurts. Because good-hearted people often try to rescue broken people. Heal them. Fix them. Carry them. And in doing so, they drown. A woman stayed in a toxic relationship for years. Not because she was weak. Because she believed she could heal him. Change him. Save him. But one day her mother told her, "You cannot heal someone committed to their sickness." That truth broke her. But it freed her. Hear this carefully. Compassion is beautiful. But self-sacrifice for someone unwilling to change is destruction. A Stoic helps where possible. But understands. You cannot force transformation. People change when they choose. Not when you suffer enough for them. Lesson 14, Stoics turn pain into wisdom. This is the highest level. Not avoiding pain. Using it. A betrayal teaches discernment. A toxic friendship teaches boundaries. A manipulative relationship teaches self-respect. Nothing is wasted. If you learn. A man was betrayed in business. Lost money. Lost trust. Lost peace. 4 months. He was angry. Broken. Then his mentor asked, "What did this pain teach you?" That question changed his life. He learned patience. Observation. Discernment. And years later, he built something stronger. Because pain became wisdom. That is Stoicism. Turning wounds into lessons. Turning betrayal into vision. Turning pain into strength. Lesson 15, Stoics never lose themselves. This may be the most important lesson. Toxic people often make you abandon yourself. Your peace. Your standards. Your values. Your dignity. To keep them. To please them. To avoid conflict. But what is the cost? Yourself. And that cost is too high. A king once said, "A man who loses himself trying to keep others, loses both." That is truth. Do not shrink yourself to fit toxic spaces. Do not betray your peace to keep company. Do not abandon your standards to avoid loneliness. Loneliness is lighter than toxic company. Read that again in your heart. Loneliness is lighter than toxic company. Because solitude heals. Toxicity wounds. Choose wisely. There is one final story. A monk carried water daily to his temple. One day someone insulted him on the road. Mocked him. Humiliated him. The monk kept walking. Calm. Later his student asked, "Didn't that bother you?" The monk smiled and said, "If I carry his anger, I arrive home heavier." That is Stoic wisdom. Do not carry what is not yours. Not their bitterness. Not their insults. Not their chaos. Let them keep it. Travel light. Protect your spirit. Protect your peace. Protect your mind. Because peace is expensive. And not everyone can afford access to it. Remember. Not every relationship is meant to continue. Not every connection is meant to survive. Some people are lessons. Not lifetimes. And that's okay. Release them. Bless them. Move on. Without hate. Without revenge. Without bitterness. That is power. Because the strongest revenge is peace. The strongest response is growth. The strongest statement is distance. If this message gave you clarity, subscribe to the Stoic path. Because here, we build calm minds, strong boundaries, and the kind of wisdom that protects peace in a chaotic world. And remember, you are not required to stay where your spirit is constantly wounded. Walk away. Protect your peace. And never apologize for choosing yourself.